after that concise update from NFL 85, we're back now in Dallas. And Merlin, let's go back to the beginning of the telecast. When we set up the premise, it would be the running attacks of both ball clubs that the game would turn on. It hadn't worked that way in the first half.
Well, Charlie, I think we were talking about very obvious things. We said Tony Dorsett was the key for both teams. At first, because Dallas defends so heavily on Dorsett to set up their passing game as well as their running game. Second, because Pittsburgh sent him out as their #1 priority. They said, we've got to stop Dorsett's running. Well, they did a good job of stopping Dorsett's running. In fact, he's had a tough day running. But what he was able to do, as all great backs are able to do, he hurt him in another way. He simply broke away on a pass pattern, and they're trying to cover him man-to-man right here. That's David Little right there, number 50. Look how Dorsett just easily outdistanced him. And that's Donnie Shell, number 31. Now, Shell, as a strong safety, without great speed, unable to cover some ground and help in that situation. And Dorsett breezes into the end zone. That one play is the difference in this game so far. The Pittsburgh defense, ranked number 2 in the NFL, has done a good job other than that. In fact, on first downs, Dallas is only averaging 1 yard per carry. I mean, that's tough. When you can keep a team to 1 yard a carry on first downs, that means they've got to throw the ball effectively. I'm amazed that White has been able to throw as effectively without the running game as he has today.
All right, and let's add one more note in case some of our viewers joined us in the middle of the first half and did not realize that coming into the game that Tony Dorsett needed at that point only 31 yards to reach that magic plateau of 10,000 yards rushing, and he would become only the 6th man in NFL history. There's a lot of pride on the Steeler defense. They don't want him to do it in this game. They say, wait, let's let him do it next week.
Well, I think they're more concerned with winning this football game, Charlie. And right now in the locker room, I think both coaches won't really deter too much from the plans they laid out at the beginning of the game. I think both teams can basically do what they wanted to do at the start of this game. The one thing I would be concerned about if I were the Pittsburgh Steelers is the injury to Dwayne Woodruff. Woodruff went down just before the half with a dislocated elbow, and that put into service Rick Woods, who has not played a heck of a lot at that cornerbacking position, and that might be something that Dallas will try to exploit.
In fact, he has never played it in a game before, only in practice, so it's kind of a Band-Aid that they've stuck on that corner over there. Now, coming into this game, the Steelers have won the last 5 meetings between these two teams, including 2 Super Bowls. Why does a particular team like the Steelers match up so well against another team, and how do the players, they just know that they're going to play well?
Well, there's no easy answer to that, Charlie, except that certain teams just have a better feeling in their approach and in their preparation. The Steelers, for some reason, just have always played well against the Cowboys. And I don't know that helps them tremendously today, but as Chuck Noll said, it sure doesn't hurt either.
That's right. Now, when you were playing, was there a particular team that you felt that you just owned them?
Yes, we had that kind of relationship for a number of years with the San Francisco 49ers, oddly enough. And the 49ers at one point would come to me when we were at the Pro Bowl, and they'd say, you have some inside information. You have some keys to our defense. And, of course, I'd say, well, yes, we do. Well, we didn't have anything, but we were able to give them some fits on the field.
All right. Let's look at the official statistics in the first half of this ball game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Charlie, that first statistic I want you to look at is 17 yards rushing for the Cowboys. Now, ordinarily, when they can't run the ball effectively, it has a much greater impact on their passing yardage. But they've still been able to come up today with 148 yards of passing. White has been hot. 10 for 10 in the first half. He has really been smoking. Other than that, pretty even. Or excuse me, he went from 10 to 10 at one point to 12 for 16. I'm getting back into the half a little bit. Turnovers are fairly even in the ball game. Let's go now to the field.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers kicking off as we open the second half of the ball game. And this is Robert Levette on the return, and he brings it from a yard deep out to the 25-yard line, so he'll have 26 yards on the return. And the Dallas offense will go to work as Calvin Sweeney makes the stop for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the Central Division, in today's action and coming in, Cleveland was on top of the 3-2 record. Well, Cleveland is trailing at halftime by 7. Pittsburgh's trailing by halftime. Cincinnati with a 1-4. They're up by 18 points in the second quarter, and Houston is up by 6 points, to give you an idea of those of you that are following the Steelers of what is happening in their division. So Dallas goes to work on their own 25-yard line as we open the second half. White takes a lot of time. He comes out throwing just as he did in the first half. He goes to Tony Hill, and he'll pick up a quick 6 yards. Now, those of you who follow the Dallas Cowboys, this will give you an idea. Dallas with a 4-1 record are up by 7 at the half. The Giants with a 3-2 record trail by 18. St. Louis at the half trailing by 13, so that's good news for Cowboy fans. Washington, they're trying to make it 3-3, and they're up by 14 at half. And Philadelphia 1-4, they're up by 13. So there's a little good news and bad news right now for Cowboy fans. The best news of all is that they lead in this game by a score of 10-3 over the Steelers.
That's the only one they can control, Charlie.
Intercepted by Pittsburgh. David Little has the interception. Steelers have the ball at the Cowboy 39-yard line. And that is Little's first interception of the season. And the first turnover. After being beaten earlier for the touchdown by Dorsett, it's got to feel good for Little to be able to go and snag that football out of the air. Watch him jump here. Goes up and gets it with one hand and pulls it back down. Beautiful play. Danny White going after Doug Cosby, his big tight end. And boy, you see the reaction there. He was mad that he missed him. The ball at the Cowboy 40-yard line. Steelers first down. And here is Abercrombie, or was that Pollard? That was Abercrombie. Abercrombie into the middle of the line. And Charlie, this is one of the places that you can see a difference in this Pittsburgh team. Under Terry Bradshaw, very often in that kind of situation with a turnover, he went instantly for the big play. But the Steelers have become more conservative, and I think it's really done because of the inexperience of Mark Malone. Mark Malone can make those plays, and in time perhaps will be more aggressive as a signal calling quarterback. Dutton and Lockhart with the last tackle. Malone to throw, sets up deep, fires, and it is incomplete. A one-hopper to Lois Lips. For a moment, Pollard thought it might be coming to me, and then he remembered that Pollard was behind him in the pattern, but it's incomplete. 3rd down and 7. The report on Dwayne Woodruff, that dislocated elbow, well, he'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. That is not good news for these Steelers. That means they're going to have to reshuffle that defensive backfield. That's not even good news. It's certainly better news than saying you're out for the season. But that does hurt. He's been very consistent this year. And considered for the Steelers to be their best cornerback. 3rd down and 7. Incomplete, and a flag is down. Flag dropped at the 18-yard line. So we're kind of in a small holding pattern to wait and see what happens. Pass interference against the offense, against the Steelers. Interesting. Do you take it here because you can take them completely out of field goal range, or do you figure they're out of field goal range now? Well, let's look and see if we can spot the interference here. Lips and Stallworth working in tandem on the right-hand side. There's the call right there. Stallworth pushing off, pushes the defender away. Everson Walls, number 24, and Everson is entitled to that territory down there. The official alertly spotted it. And Charlie, there's the answer to your question. They're going to disregard the penalty, force the 4th down, force the punt, and take the football. The Cowboys do not feel, and justifiably so, that Anderson can go from this distance. It would be a 55-yarder. And that is his career longest, and so Newsom goes for the right corner. And he gets it. Let's see where they'll mark it out. Boy, he's done a good job of kicking today. Out at the 10-yard line. So the Steelers unable to capitalize on David Little's interception. Newsom has been inconsistent coming in, but he has kicked well today. It's 27 yards, but it's out at the 10-yard line.
Shh, be very, very quiet.
What's up, Doc?
I'm hunting for the sharpest VCR picture.
Then what are you doing over there? Sony Super Beta has a picture like real life. 20% sharper than the one that beat VHS.
Pesky rabbit.
And only Sony has this super special effects wheel.
I'll give you a special effect, rabbit.
Oh, sorry, Doc. Super Beta is sharper. Sony, the one and only.
Have you driven a Ford? Ford dealers present 8.8 Plus. 8.8 annual percentage rate financing on 86 and 85 Tempo and Escort, both when equipped with manual transmissions, plus tough new 86 Rangers and sporty 86 Bronco 2s. Plus, a special lease offer on all 86 and 85 Ford cars and light trucks. 1986 is off to a great start with 8.8 Plus at Ford dealers now.
When you're 100% pure beef.
The beef goes on.
When you're sear sizzled, lean and juicy.
McDonald's beef goes on.
Your great beef taste goes on and on.
You're all beef, your beef, lean and hot. So your big beef taste just won't stop. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. The beef goes on.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Sony Super Beta, the VCR that gives you a picture 20% sharper than VHS. And by Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. There's no better engine protection under the sun.
Dallas leading Pittsburgh by a score of 10-3. Cowboys have the football on their own 10-yard line. Dorset to the 10, the 15, the 20, and out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
We mentioned that the Pittsburgh Steelers have controlled Dorset in the first half, but they don't control him here as they get the little toss outside. They led the cornerback Rick Woods inside on that play, and Dorset simply explodes outside, uses his speed to pick up big yardage. 19 yards on that play, Charlie.
And needs 9 to reach the milestone. First down, 29-yard line. The Cowboys, in addition, have some breathing room. Cosby in motion. Little play action fake, and White is all alone. It's there at the 50-yard line. Cosby, the tight end. Rick Woods with the tackle. A gain of 21 yards. You talked about the brain trust of these teams earlier in the first half. Well, when the Cowboys started here in 1960, it was Tom Landry and just a few of his friends. He had only 3 assistant coaches: Brad Eklund, Tom Doms, and Babe DeMancha.
Well, things have changed a little, Charlie. On that sideline today, there are 11 coaches, some of them up in the booth, but 11 assistant coaches with Landry, and then he's got another secret weapon. He's got the old field goal kicker Ben Agajanian as his guru of kicking.
Dorset. It'll be 1 yard. So he needs 8. Charlie, 49.
Charlie, looking back on that play, it was an excellent job of faking by Danny White, and I think that's kind of a lost art in the NFL. Quarterbacks don't hide that football very often as well as they should. Well, White had everybody faked out on that play, had plenty of time to stand and watch the secondary, and it looked like Tony Hill was wide open, but White already had his eye on Doug Cosby and waited for Doug to clear before he dropped him the football.
The report on Glenn Titans, the offensive guard for the Cowboys, it's a knee problem. He could play and he might not play, so that's still up in the air. Here's White to throw. It's there. And it'll be a first down. A gain of 9 yards, and that's all that Mike Renfro needed.
Donnie Shell stole that football from Renfro there. He was angry they didn't give it to him. It looks like we're going to have that a mark off against the Cowboys. Now, I missed the penalty, Charlie.
I did too.
It's a 5-yard mark off. Let's go look at the end of that play and see what happened as Donnie Shell came up with the football. Well, that's it.
Okay. Second down and 14. At the Dallas 46. Here's Dorset. And he has 3 yards to the 49, so he needs 5 yards to reach the 10,000 mark, and Mike Merriweather makes the tackle.
Sneaking up on that mark. Of course, starting as they did with their backs to the wall, the Cowboys able to be a little more aggressive with their defensive call. But Landry has never been afraid to call the big plays. In fact, both these coaches like to have a few tricks up their sleeves. For example, against Cleveland a few weeks ago, Landry called a play where James Jones took the football and threw back to the quarterback, Danny White, out of this shotgun formation or spread formation.
3rd and 11. And just tripped up. That is the 4th sack. Keith Gary gets this one.
Keith Gary had come all the way around behind. One-on-one on Chris Schultz. And Danny White didn't see him. Gary was actually laying on the ground, just reached out with a long arm and tripped Danny White. Watch it now. Keith Willis coming in from this side. And that's Gary getting pushed to the ground. He's all the way on the ground. Watch him just reach out right there with a left hand and trip Danny White. Danny didn't see him.
Loss of 11, so it's 4th and 22. Good kick.
Good high kick.
Fair catch. Rick Woods lets it bounce, and it'll be down at the 12-yard line. He might have rolled a couple of more turns. We've got a timeout. The score, Dallas 10, Pittsburgh 3, 10.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
If you just ask for a light beer,
I'll have a light.
you never know what you'll get.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation ever. Here's Rock City, Texas, L.A., all in 3 days.
Bud Light.
Here I am in Death Valley. That's me looking for water.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste,
Wait, there's more.
ask for Bud Light, because everything else
Give me a light.
is just a light.
That's me packing the car. Best vacation.
In the past, you saw a big Ford pickup carry a Chevy pickup up this monster mountain of boulders. But now we're going to top ourselves by carrying a Chevy and towing a Dodge pickup up the same mountain. Because this year, Ford has the most powerful lineup of V8 engines, gas and diesel, of any pickup. And only Ford has independent front suspension for ground-grabbing traction. No wonder they're America's best-selling full-size pickups. The best-built American trucks are built Ford Tough.
They say it takes a big computer company to build a big computer.
Sure. Who else?
But Goodyear said,
Wanna bet?
and built a supercomputer for NASA.
Goodyear did? Yeah, the aerospace group.
Goodyear's computer can add or subtract 6.5 billion times a second.
What?
It's one of the world's fastest computers. See what you can do when you don't listen to what they say. Goodyear.
This fall, NBC Sports has a November to remember when heart-pounding excitement returns to the greens. Where one putt could be worth $450,000. Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Tom Watson, and Fuzzy Zeller play the Skins game. Now that's a November to remember on NBC.
As we come back to action, let's look at the end of that punt. It looked like Victor Scott may have interfered with the catch by Rick Woods, and then he makes a dumb mistake, catches that ball. I think it would have rolled, Charlie.
First down for the Steelers on their own 13-yard line. Dallas leads 10-3. Play action. Malone over the middle. He's open. It's Abercrombie to the 40-yard line. 27 yards and a first down. Michael Downs with the tackle.
Both teams taking advantage of one-on-one coverage on a running back. We saw Dorsett take it for a touchdown. In this situation, it's Abercrombie. Good play action fake. And then right over the top from Malone. Watch Abercrombie isolated. He'll blow right through on the one-on-one situation. Eugene Lockhart trying to catch up, and he skied, but he could not help. The two safeties, Clint Scale and Downs, over to put him down.
That is Abercrombie's second catch of the ball game, and also his second of the season. There was jumping in the offensive line.
The left side of the Pittsburgh offensive line up a little early. And again, the officials' microphone appears to be hooked into the public PA, but not into our sets. We're not getting those calls, Charlie.
That was on Ray Penny. We picked that up, though.
Penny, a valuable addition to that offensive line, came back after tours in the USFL. You know, he's played the equivalent of about 5 seasons in the last 3 years.
Yes, he's
wow.
got to be getting tired. Third quarter, And another third quarter, Cleveland by 1 over Houston, 7-6. And here's Dallas 10, Pittsburgh 3. Malone has a man. Oh, Stallworth was open. And he couldn't get it to him. Now let's go to NFL 85 and Bill McAtee.
All right, Charlie, you just mentioned the scores the Browns have struck early in the third quarter against Houston. Bernie Kosar has thrown his first NFL touchdown to Clarence Weathers. The play covers 68 yards. It is 7-6 now, Cleveland.
I thank you, Bill. And, of course, that continues to tie in with the Steelers here as they trail by 7. Ehrenberg will be dropped for a loss. And so all of a sudden the Cowboy defense is beginning to take over the ball game.
Well, Charlie, the Cowboys love to blitz you on defense, and that's a feast and famine kind of approach. It's been mostly feast for the Cowboys this year. Good job by Michael Downs just a play ago coming in to knock down the pass on the blitz on that last situation. A very conservative call by Pittsburgh as they ran in a passing situation. Didn't fool anybody, and they were shut down.
Third down and 18. 8 minutes, 55 seconds. That is the time remaining in the third quarter. Steelers with the ball. They trail by 7, 10-3. And now Malone wants a timeout.
Second time we've seen Malone take a timeout because of confusion, and those are costly. You get to the end of a ball game. This ball game's still very tight. They might need that timeout.
Well, we start the day with football, but if you've been with NBC over the last few days, you of course know that we're moving on to our baseball coverage from here. Later today, the battle for the pennants continues on NBC Sports. Playoff fever beginning at 4:30 Eastern time with Game 5 of the American League Championship Series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Kansas City Royals. And of course, the Toronto Blue Jays lead in that 3-1. Later on this evening, it will be at 8 p.m. the League Championship Series, an inside look hosted by Dick Enberg, followed by Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, matching the Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals live from Busch Stadium, and the Dodgers lead that series 2-1. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting for you on NBC Sports. This is Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen. With 8 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the third quarter, the Dallas Cowboys out in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 10-3.
See Landry on the sideline talking to a couple of the linebackers. Mike Hegman, 58, Eugene Lockhart, 26. And interesting to me, Charlie, the Cowboys moved their huddle out of the sunshine over onto the side over there. I'm sure it's really getting hot. Yeah, you bet it is. Landry, I'm sure, asking about that long connection to Abercrombie when the linebackers failed to pick him up coming out of the backfield.
The Cowboy defense has held Louis Lips, who has 6 touchdowns, that is second in the NFL to Darrell Turner's 7 of Seattle. Has held Lips to 0 receptions of the ballgame.
That's good defense.
Oh, yes. Third down and 18. Going from the shadow to the sunlight. There's pressure and the overthrow, and it's incomplete. Short hop.
The Cowboys have come repeatedly today with the cornerback. When the Steelers have put 2 wide receivers to one side or the other, frequently Dennis Thurman is lined up on that inside receiver and has come in to blitz with no one to pick him up.
So Harry Newsome, averaging 39.8 yards, will be kicking to Leon Gonzalez. Now Gonzalez may have trouble picking this ball up. It'll be coming right out of the sun. He's got it at the 17 and is thrown down. Mike Merriweather, the linebacker, is there, and Dallas will have the football when we get back. A 50-yard punt for Harry Newsome. Cowboys by 7.
Champion rock climber Ron Kaut knows the thrills and the difficulties of conquering rugged mountains. That's why he likes a Ford Bronco 2. He knows that Bronco 2 has the built-in toughness to take it and the power to make it. Now with the most powerful engine in its class. And this year Bronco 2 breaks through with new electric touch drive. You just touch a button and the Bronco 2 shifts from 2-wheel to ground-grabbing 4-wheel drive no matter what your speed. No wonder Ford Bronco 2 makes it to the top. Now get 8.8 financing on 86 Ford Bronco 2.
It's time, family.
You know that humongous mortgage on your house? With Transamerica Life, it can be paid.
It's paid?
And your son's college?
It's paid?
It's time.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
No, not that time. Your premium is due.
Transamerica Life Insurance. The power of the pyramid is working for you.
Now, Selsun Blue, the #1 doctor-recommended dandruff shampoo, introduces a new extra conditioning formula.
It leaves my hair looking so soft and manageable. It has 5 conditioners, including aloe, that leaves hair in beautiful condition.
And Selsun Blue Extra Conditioning Formula contains the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors recommend most. No leading brand gets rid of dandruff flaking or itching better.
New Selsun Blue Extra Conditioning Formula controls dandruff and leaves hair in beautiful condition.
Tony Dorsett needs only 5 more yards to finally, if he can do it this series, we can get that out of the way, to reach that plateau of 10,000 yards. And when we talked to him yesterday, we were talking about his vision. He really has excellent vision.
Charlie, there are very few running backs who don't have great eyes. And Dorsett was talking about getting an eye hurt in a playoff game against San Francisco. And he said, I simply had part of, you might imagine a running back, cover one of your eyes. Imagine how hard it is to see people coming at you. He has great vision. It's one of his secrets. And I'll tell you, he is a great running back.
First down, and he drops this one.
Well, Charlie, he didn't see that one coming.
That's right, he didn't.
Let's go back and take a quick look at that punt that was caught by Gonzalez. Charlie, you said he would have trouble picking it out of the sky. Watch him as he almost drops this punt. It hit him on his shoulder. He's lucky to get that football. And then watch the tackle by Mike Merriweather, a Steeler first stringer, starter, playing on special teams, almost takes Gonzalez's head off, and I think should have had a face mask penalty on that play.
Second down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Cosby, the tight end, edges in. And John Williams just for a little power move inside and has 3 yards to the 20. So it'll be 3rd down and 7. I'm kind of confused by the play calling of the Cowboys. They open up throwing and then they come on, 2nd and 10 and they run inside without.
Well, I think they're trying to guess.
What are they trying to do?
They're trying to guess with the Pittsburgh defense, Charlie. They're obvious passing situation, and they try and get a quick shot up the middle, hoping they'd catch the Steelers perhaps in a blitzing situation and pop a big one.
3rd down and 7. Dorsett stays in as a blocker, makes a nice block, and the pass is complete. Tight end Doug Cosby. But the man who set it up was Dorsett with his blocking ability, giving Danny White time enough to throw.
Got a running back has to do more things than just run the football. Dorsett has caught the football today effectively. Now picking up the blitz from the outside by Merriweather. Literally saving enough time for Danny White to spot Doug Cosby downfield and get that big first down.
First down. White to Jones, and Jones is dropped at the 35. He'll have 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Donnie Shell was there to deck him.
Charlie, we were informed that Danny White has bruised those ribs again. We talked about his skein of injuries early in the year, and the first injury he had was separated rib cartilage.
That was in preseason, right?
Yes, in preseason. Been sacked, what, 4 times today? So he's been bounced on pretty good, and apparently one of those sacks loosened up those ribs a little bit. He's in some pain, but he's obviously still in the ball game.
And here's Dorsett. He needs 5. He's got it. There it is. With plenty to spare, and the crowd will tell the story. And he joins an illustrious group of National Football League running backs. 19 yards for the record.
Appropriately, a play in which Dorsett had made some of his classic moves. A little dip to the inside, and then taking advantage of that flashing speed to pick up that big gain and a handful of NFL records.
And those are the men that he joins. 3, including Dorsett, still playing. Walter Payton, Jim Brown, Franco Harris, O.J. Simpson, John Riggins, and now Tony Dorsett. At the Steeler 45-yard line, first down. Dallas leading 10-3, 6:16 left to go in the third. Cosby in motion. White to Cosby. Bad ribs and all. White continues to throw, and he deals to the 35.
Danny White has had a very good day today. He's been right on target. That kind of timing pattern, something you work on long hours in practice. Cosby just hitting a certain point on the field, and that ball waiting for him as he turned around. Cosby, as I mentioned earlier, very dependable, good hands, smart receiver, knows how to get to the open area. Look how open he is, too. he got a place where there was all kinds of room, Charlie.
And he led the team in receptions last year when he pulled in 60. John Williams. And it's a first down for Dallas.
Charlie, right now, if you're on that Steelers side of the line of scrimmage, or if you're Tony Dungy watching from up here in the Steelers coaching box, you're thinking one thing. We've got to keep them out of our end zone. We've got to try and get that football away from them, at least force them to kick the ball, try and get them to attempt a field goal rather than let them down in for the touchdown. And the Cowboys have had trouble kicking that ball in from the 20 this year.
And this is James Jones. He goes out at the 30, so he picks up only a couple. It'll be second down at 8, and Donnie Shell is the man who was chasing him. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
WBRE 28, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
This is Charlie Jones along with Merlin Olsen. Texas Stadium, a sellout crowd. The score Dallas 10 and Pittsburgh 3 with just under 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cowboys with the ball. Second down and 7 at now the 29-yard line of the Steelers. The officials mark the ball. And Tony Dorsett has reached the milestone of 10,000 yards rushing. And here he comes again. Left side. Cuts back, slips a tackle. Inside the 22, close to the first down. Eric Williams is there to stop him along with Keith Willis. So in the first half, the Steelers were able to slow Dorsett on the ground. He caught the pass for the 56-yard touchdown. But now he's beginning to work loose.
I think Dorsett is so impressive in a situation like that, Charlie, because earlier you'd seen him make that little dip and go outside. He makes the little dip here and goes back inside. Little misdirection play. Now look, he looks like he's starting outside, but watch him as he cuts back against the grain and then just powers through that tackle by David Little. Powers through a second tackle right there by Donnie Shell to make Eric Williams, 21, to make excellent yardage.
And it's third down and a yard to go for the first down. And here's Dorsett. Oh, and he leans. This will be close. Into the arms of John Goodman.
Charlie, I'd indicated...
Excuse me, that was James Jones. Go ahead.
I indicated a moment ago that the Cowboys have had trouble punching the ball in when they get inside the 20-yard line. They've had the ball inside the 20 24 times during the season. They've only got 10 TDs, 6 field goals. They've turned the ball over 4 times, and 5 penalties have kept them from scoring.
Fourth down and, you know, a yard, a little under, and they're going to go for the field goal attempt. Do you agree with this call?
I'll tell you, it's a percentage call, but I think I'd punch with that big offensive line.
.40-yard attempt, maybe just under it, and it's good. Rafael Septien has hit from 38. And is hit now officially from 39. And so the Cowboys have stretched it out by 10. It's Dallas 13 and Pittsburgh 3. We'll be back with a kickoff in just a moment.
When road is slippery. Braking your car can cause skidding or worse. Now, Tevis, an ITT company, has an anti-lock brake system to help keep your car under control. A built-in computer senses the road and brakes the wheels without locking. This ITT Tevis system is available on some American cars now, and none too soon.
Hey, it ain't easy to do rope tricks first time around. Same goes for smokeless tobacco. But here's one that's easier to use. Skoal Long Cut. Now, it's not chewing tobacco. Long Cut means it packs easy. Stays put between your cheek and gum. So Skoal Long Cut makes it easy to enjoy tobacco without lighting up.
You can get it in mint or original wintergreen. Easy to use, great taste. That's Skoal Long Cut.
It's a lot easier than this.
Here, America.
First, the silver and black attack runs into the bruising defense of Cleveland as the Raiders battle the Browns. Then Seattle soars into a mile-high stampede when the Seahawks go eye-to-eye with the Broncos.
The NFL plays here on NBC. The action starts with NFL 85.
We have the report that David Woodley will be coming in on offense for the Steelers as Septien kicks off. And is picked off by Ehrenberg at the 1-yard line. And he is in at the 20, bounces off of the tackle, returns it to the 26-yard line. And it will be David Woodley at quarterback, Merlin.
Charlie, it's strange. I had a chance to talk to him in the locker room just before the game, and I said, I know it's tough for you sitting. He said, you know, I may not be sitting as long as you think. Either he had a premonition or Noel had talked to him. But I know that Malone has had trouble moving the team. Started brilliantly in that opening game against the Colts and has kind of slowed down, has not been able to make it happen the last few weeks. Well, Chuck Noll is going to give David Woodley a chance. Woodley started in the first 7 games last year, hurt in the 8th game, had a leg injury that kept him out the rest of the year.
The Steelers down by 10, 13-3. And here's Abercrombie. He is upended at the 28, comes down at the 29. A gain of 3, it'll be second down and 7. And he was upended by Everson Walls.
Let's go in and take a look at our new quarterback, David Woodley. A little fake to the inside, tosses it out. But the thing to watch out here is the head over heels roll by Abercrombie. And boy, that has to hurt your legs to get whacked like that. Amazing the kind of strength and flexibility these guys have.
Second and 7. Showing the blitz.
And they get the call. They force the audible, and now they're dropping out. Well,
and it takes too much time.
The Cowboys, very simply, taking advantage of the fact that they know Woodley has not been in there for a while. They know he's a little rusty. They came up. They came up and made it look like a blitz, Charlie. They got everybody up on the line. Woodley was forced to call the audible. Took a little too much time. They dropped out. They weren't going to run the blitz, but by that time, the time clock had run out, 30-second clock had run out. They get the penalty.
So it's second and 12. The ball moves back to the 24.
Steelers only have 1 first down in this third quarter to 5 for the Cowboys. The Cowboys very dominant in this third quarter.
Abercrombie in motion. Stallworth, the intended receiver. It is incomplete. Good coverage by Walls. So it'll be third down 12.
Cowboys moving both cornerbacks over. Everson Walls soloing up on number 82 Stallworth. That ball a little bit late being delivered by David Woodley.
And look at this, Merlin.
Wow.
Third quarter.
Well, I'm sure that's that game tightening up a little bit.
Yes, and interesting to both Cowboy fans and Steeler fans. Third down and 12. Here we have 2 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the third. Cowboys by 10. David Woodley throws. It is low. It is incomplete. He was going to Stallworth again, and again it was Everson Walls with the coverage.
Almost the same pattern. Solo coverage. And Everson Walls, without brilliant speed, is not as fast as some of the defensive backs on the field, but just has a great knack for closing that cushion. Receivers call that a cushion when they've got room, and Walls just closed the cushion, got his hand on that football twice in a row, makes big plays.
And here's the kick to Leon Gonzalez. Takes it at the 37 and have 2, maybe 3 yards on the return. The Cowboys will have the football. A 39-yard kick with a 3-yard return, and Darrell Nelson was there for the Steelers.
Take a peek quickly at the eyes of Gonzalez, and again, remember, he's looking up into that sun. Let's see if he ever took a peek upfield. No, he did not ever take a look upfield to see where the defenders were coming from. And that's one thing that a good punt return man almost has to do. Look away from that ball momentarily. Gonzalez, I think, concentrating on that football. Most importantly, did not want to drop the apple.
Dallas from their own 40-yard line, first down. Danny White steps away from Merriweather. The pass is complete. He goes to tight end Cosby, and Eric Williams makes the tackle.
Danny White doing a good job of eluding pressure on that play. Merriweather blitzing from the outside, got in on him, but he just drifted to the right. And I'll tell you, White is almost a master at finding room in that pocket. He doesn't like to run that much, but he knows how to take a couple of steps to find enough room and enough time to get the football off.
All of that just a yard to the 41, so it's 2nd down and 9. Here's Dorset. And out of bounds at the 45, a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Donnie Shell was there for the defense.
Let's go in and look. I mentioned earlier in the game the signature of this Pittsburgh defense, and it's the alignment of that nose tackle. Look how he's cocked on an angle here. Mean Joe Green, for many years, made that a trademark in the NFL. And look at him here. Charlie, we talked about getting to his left. That's one of the weaknesses when you line up that way. And you see Gary Dunn trying to move out to his left-hand side. Actually did a good job, but he's at a disadvantage.
And now the Steelers making some defensive changes, but not in time. And so they have to take a timeout. And let's check the scoreboard while we have this timeout. As Inkle says, it wasn't me, Coach. Tampa Bay by 3 over the Rams as upset Sunday continues. And Green Bay by 7 over Minnesota. That game in the 3rd quarter. And don't forget, next week it'll be the Raiders against Cleveland, San Diego at Minnesota, Cincinnati at Houston, Indianapolis at Buffalo. NFL doubleheader on NBC, and Dick will be returning from the wars of baseball to join Merlin in Mile High Stadium. Seattle against Denver, that most of the country will see. And I hope that the weather is better than the last time you were there, because you froze. Tell everybody what you did. It was so cold.
I went out to Denver, and I looked at papers. They said it's going to be 55 degrees. Well, we got there, and it just plummeted, and we had a blizzard. Had 8 inches of snow on the field before the game, and I had to send someone out to buy a couple of big electric blankets. We didn't have any coats.
And you turned it up high, too.
You know,
right?
Charlie, when they said don't leave home without it, they meant the long underwear. I know.
And the electric blankets, too. Dallas 13 and Pittsburgh 3. 3 field goals and that 56-yard touchdown pass from White to Dorsett that came with 11:27 left to go in the first half. And a big plays have all been made by the defense with that one exception.
One big exception, and of course that exception proving to be bigger and bigger as the game goes on. And right now you've got to believe that the Pittsburgh defense has got to get a little more aggressive. That aggressiveness is in their nature anyway, but they've got to try and force a turnover here, try and make a big play. The offense has not been effective today. Neither quarterback, and we better give Woodley a chance. He's only had 1 series, but able to get anything going against the Cowboy defense.
And now the Steelers have only 1 timeout remaining in the game. 3rd down 5 from the 45. Here's Renfro in motion. Renfro over the middle, and it is intercepted. As Renfro came across underneath the coverage, it was tipped, and then Eric Williams was diving for the interception.
They're really excited about the play of Eric Williams, number 21. Had interceptions in both of the last 2 ball games. This one bounces off Hinkle's hand up high, and almost made it. That's the tip drill. Eric Williams diving, could not get it into his hands, but that's the turnover that these Steelers would love to get.
And so Mike Saxon will be kicking to Louis Lips. And Lips, as you can see, is in shadow, so he will not have a problem fielding the ball. Oh, great hang time. Fair catch is called for and taken at the 10-yard line. Hang time exactly 5 seconds.
Boy, that's a coach's dream there. All kinds of room to cover. Saxon doing his job beautifully.
A 44-yard kick. Here's another look, Marlon.
Looking into the eyes of the kicker, and he really got his foot into that. Most importantly in that situation, getting it up high enough. And right there, Louis Lips had to make the fair catch call. It was not deep enough to let it go to the end zone. He ends up pulling it in. The ball spotted just outside of the 10. And there's a lot of green between that Pittsburgh offense and the Cowboy goal line.
First down Steelers on their own 11-yard line. David Woodley, the quarterback, in his second series. Woodley sets it very quickly, throws high for Lips, and it is incomplete. Louis Lips has been shut out thus far. He still does not have a reception. Dexter Clinkscale was there for the defense. It's second down and 10 at the Steeler 11-yard line.
Almost all day long, he's been battling head-to-head with Everson Walls. Everson would certainly appear to be getting the better of that battle at this moment.
David Woodley, one of only 2 Steelers who have ever played for another NFL team. The other is Ray Snell. Woodley, of course, with Miami, youngest starter in the history of the Super Bowl at 24 in the game against Washington. Intercepted. Eugene Lockhart, touchdown.
At Woodley, you saw Lockhart start from that middle linebacking position. He read the face-off by Woodley, gets out in front of Benny Cunningham, the tight end, and he celebrates in the end zone. Woodley just did not see Lockhart cutting across. He fired that ball, fired it very hard to Benny Cunningham, but shortcut by the defense, and Dallas has a touchdown.
And the extra point is good by Rafael Septien. The Cowboys now have stretched it out 20-3. We were talking with Eugene yesterday, and I said, do you prefer that people call you Eugene or that they call you Gene? And he said, well, I don't care. Either one is fine by me. And so I went to the old standby. I said, what does your mother call you? And he said, Junior. And that was no help at all.
They won't be calling him Junior on the sideline as he got the congratulations of his team. And Charlie, I think that's the result of some rust. David Woodley has not had a chance to play for a long time. And I don't care how much you practice. You can't really get the feel of a game until you're in the game.
And that is his first NFL touchdown. Eugene Lockhart. And he runs it in from 19 yards away. And the Cowboys stretch it out. They lead by 17, 20-3. 50 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Septien will be kicking off, and Rich Ehrenberg is the deep back on the return as we try and stare into the thoughts of David Woodley. Steelers have lost 2 in a row, and right now on their way to losing 3 in a row. Here's Ehrenberg on the return to the 20 and near the 30-yard line. So at least the Steelers have a little bit of field position. Not a lot, but just a little. And 27 yards on the kickoff return. Dennis Thurman makes the tackle. And don't forget that later today, the Battle of the Bennetts continues on NBC Sports. Playoff fever begins at 4:30 Eastern Time with Game 5 of the American League Series between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Royals. Toronto leads that 3-1, and later on this evening, the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and the Dodgers lead that series 2-1. Pittsburgh from their own 30-yard line, first down. And here is Pollard leaning out to the 37, so it'll be 2nd down and 3 as Ron Fellows makes the tackle.
Watch the play here of the middle of the line. Randy White, number 54, kind of guy that likes to run around those blocks. Watch him right here. Going to run around that block, get to the outside, and they're just zipping up the middle with Pollard. There was no way for Randy to get back in and make that play with his quickness. Good start for Pittsburgh on this offensive series.
2nd and 3. Here's Pollard and slips the first tackle, but is nailed by the 2nd linebacker, and guess who? It's the hitting machine, Eugene Lockhart. You can now call him the touchdown scorer. And with that play, the gun sounds. That is the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Cowboys 20, Pittsburgh 3. We'll be back into these messages from your local station.
Coming this November, Academy Award winner George C. Scott gives an incredible performance as one of history's most fascinating men in Mussolini, The Untold Story.
Why do homeowners in northeastern and central Pennsylvania choose natural gas? Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company asked Mr. Leary in Peckville.
We were looking for long-range benefits and a better heating system.
Mr. Daly in Jessup, why did you choose natural gas?
We installed gas in our new home because it was the most economical choice.
A new high-efficiency natural gas heating system can mean savings for your family, too. Call Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company today. Natural gas, America's first choice heating fuel.
Come with Genesee to the great outdoors.
Filming the snowshoe hare isn't easy. In the winter, he turns from brown to snow white. His snowshoes are built in. I'm glad I can take mine off and enjoy a Genesee.
Genesee beer, the great outdoors in a glass. And try Genesee Light. You won't believe it's a light beer.
I'm a real beer drinker, and Jenny Light's a good-tasting beer. Where did you hide the calories?
I'm Rick Mason, Eyewitness News Bureau Chief for North Central Pennsylvania. If you watched Eyewitness News this week, we told you exclusively about the November 1st closing of PBI Industries and the loss of 100 steelworkers' jobs in Williamsport. Only Eyewitness News brought you the valiant efforts of rescue workers who tried to save the life of a Linden woman. You saw the Tri-County Project promote safer driving through the Love Belt campaign. And a talking fire hydrant brought the message of fire safety to the Susquehanna Valley. We're Eyewitness News and the Williamsport Bureau, working harder for you.
28, let's all be there.
This is one of the 6 names on the Ring of Honor at Texas Stadium, Bob Lilly. You had a chance to play with him in one postseason game. What was it like to play with him?
Well, I tell you, we played against each other so often, and Lilly was a tackle in some ways very much like Randy White. They call it an explode tackle, or at least that's what the competition talks about it. There's no question that Lilly was one of the most pleasant teammates I ever had. He made my job easy, and our styles really complemented each other, Charlie. No question about it. I enjoyed just sliding in behind him. He caused a lot of trouble for the offensive teams.
3rd down and 1, and the Cowboy defense is there, stopping Rich Ehrenberg. They'll lose yardage, and they'll be facing 4th down. They'll lose 2, and it'll be 4th down, and they'll be kicking. Tootal was there, along with Clinkscale.
Yeah, you begin to mount up in the domination here as the Cowboys able to have 9 first downs in this second half. Only 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And boy, you can't do much when you can't move the ball. They've not been able to move it on the ground. They have not been able to move it in the air. Good kick. Wow.
Gonzalez at the 13-yard line. Fumble. Steelers have it. Dave Edwards with the fumble recovery. A 51-yard kick, and now the Steelers can get back in it.
Let's take a peek. We showed you earlier Gonzalez back there, not too certain of that job as a punt returner, but that helmet right on the football. That's number what, 92 or 93? One of the Garys, one of the Keith Gary. Edwards, anyway, the man who popped onto that football. And that is a big turnover inside the 20-yard line. The Steelers now with a chance to get themselves back into this game.
At the Dallas 17, 1st down. Woodley, the quarterback. Abercrombie in
All-out
motion.
blitz.
Incomplete. There's a flag. Abercrombie cut downfield before the snap. Lockhart for the defense.
Down at the line of scrimmage, the Cowboys just trying to overload against the Steelers. You see the call being made, motion by the backfield. But let's go look at that play. Look at what they've done in the middle. They got the 2 linemen going outside, but here is Michael Downs and Eugene Lockhart, and they'll just go through like that. You've only got 1 man to block them, and they're going to make it awfully tough. Lockhart right there. It's Pollard trying to pick him up, but he just sidestepped Pollard. And poor David Woodley with no time to get that football. That's just overload, simply overload. And the only way to beat it is to get that ball up in the air early and have a receiver who can run underneath it.
Ehrenberg and Steve Morris are the 2 running backs. So you look for the pass, and here it is, right into coverage, tipped, and then finally knocked away by Cunningham. The intended receiver just trying to protect himself from the defender, Michael Downs.
Well, very often a receiver has to become a defensive back. That's exactly what Benny Cunningham does here. That ball should not have been thrown. Double covered. It's gunned right into the mouth of the defense. And once that ball bounced in the air, Cunningham had the least of the 3 opportunities to get it. He strips it out of the hands of Victor Scott, 22. Did a good job of making sure that one wasn't intercepted.
Chuck Noll on the sideline. Woodley now has completed 0. 0 for 6, 1 interception. 3rd down and 10. Blitzy's dropped. Just got it away. Bill Bates was coming. He got there almost before the football. And Pollard couldn't hang on to it. Boy, he was off like a shot.
Billy Bates right here at the bottom of your screen. And again, it's the overload situation. Both safeties up. Both safeties coming. There's just no chance in there as they overload and put a safety, Billy Bates, right on top of David Woodley. Woodley got the ball off. I don't know how he did it.
I don't either.
Almost got a catch from Pollard there. And now they're going to have to go for the 3, Charlie.
From 34 yards away, Gary Anderson out of the hole of Scott Campbell. It is good. So Anderson now has hit twice. And the score, the Dallas Cowboys 20 and the Steelers 6.
Do you know me? I have one of the best-known names in China.
But still here in Peking, a lot of people don't recognize me. So I always carry the American Express card. With this, I can get great service for myself, or even service for 12.
To apply for the card, look for an application and take one.
The American Express card.
To race fans everywhere, Old Milwaukee means something great. It means the Old Milwaukee race team, racing at its best. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer. And smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light. An Old Milwaukee Light. Tastes as great as their name. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this.
This Jeep Cherokee has some amazing things going for it. Room for 5 adults or 71 cubic feet of cargo. Doors, your choice of 2 or 4. Drive, 2 or 4-wheel shift on the fly. Power from a torquey 2.5-liter engine. But most important, this Cherokee is all Jeep, body and soul.
This fall, NBC Sports has a November to remember with the network premiere of the Kapalua International. One of the world's richest tournaments has drawn the always unpredictable Lee Trevino and an international field of golfers to the beautiful shores of Maui. The Kapalua International makes it a November to remember on NBC.
Gary Anderson to kick off for the Steelers with Robert Levette and John Williams, the 2 deep backs on the return. This is Williams at the 7-yard line to the 15. Has an opening at the 20 and returns near the 30-yard line. John Williams Played his collegiate ball at Wisconsin, and he was in the USFL for a couple of years. Dave Edwards is the man who stopped him. Todd Spencer was there for the Steelers.
Danny White coming onto the field. Certainly has had an outstanding day. No confusion there as Dallas had 12 people on the field. Robert Levette going back to the sideline. Now, wait a minute. Better not overload out there. We're doing too well with 11.
And a chance to give you a look at all of the early ball games today. And here's Dorset. And leading the way is Broderick Thompson. 6 yards to the 35. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Robin Cole makes the tackle.
You get an idea of how deep Dorset sets in that I formation from the Cowboys. We asked him about that before the game, Charlie, and he said, you know, I tried playing up closer, but he said I would get there so quick that the hole wouldn't have a chance to open. So he said, I backed out of there. It gives me a chance to read the blocks a little bit better, and I can control the play a little bit better from that I formation. We'll see. They usually shift just before the count. They may go back into that I formation here. No, going to pass.
And it's there to Renfro. 12 yards, 1st down. Harvey Clayton is the Steeler they're picking on.
When you're hot, you're hot. Danny White again to Renfro. And Renfro, as we have mentioned earlier, a control receiver. Beautiful patterns. Great hands. He's the kind of guy you can depend on to get that yardage for you down the sideline. Look how pretty that is. Beautiful pass by Danny White and a very comfortable reception by Renfro.
During halftime, I was in the press room and overheard a man talking about Renfro when he played in high school. He said his son played with him. They said, was he fast then? He said, no, he never was fast. He just always got open.
Yeah.
He has that back.
Fast enough, Charlie.
That's right.
Fast enough.
Here's Jones. James Jones on the receiving end.
What a day Danny White is having. 19 for 26, 229 yards. Well, he certainly has it rolling today.
A gain of 4 on the last play to the Steeler 49 is 2nd down and 6. Cowboys lead it 20-6 with 12.5 minutes left to go in the ball game. Five seconds on the 30-second clock. White swings into the right flat. The pass is complete to Jones. He'll have a couple of yards to the 47, so it'll be 3rd down and 4.
Charlie, if you look at White's statistics on the season so far, with today's numbers programmed in, he has 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Not a good ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. You'd like to have, well, at least a comfortable advantage on the touchdown side. But White has thrown a couple of those interceptions in desperation situations and has been forced into a couple of bad passes. He's made mostly all good decisions today.
3rd down. And this is an overthrow. So it'll be 4th down and the kicking team will come in.
Very quiet in this stadium all of a sudden, and it just people kind of waiting for something to happen, I suppose. Maybe the heat has something to do with it. They're down there fanning themselves right now in the stands.
Well, we have a quiet moment. I have just a chance. Lee Trevino called during halftime watching the game here now. He wanted us to make sure that everybody understands he's not retiring.
Supermax, he can't retire.
No, he's too strong. He's not retiring. He's going to play the regular tour, and then when he's 50, which is all years from now, he'll move right into the senior tour. Not too far away. Mike Saxon will be kicking.
Tom Landry's not going to retire either, is he?
No need to. No need to.
Trying to block it. They don't get him.
Fair catch is called for and taken at the 15-yard line by Rick Woods. So the Steelers will have the ball on their own 15-yard line. A 31-yard kick, but excellent hang time. We'll be back in just a moment as Dallas leads.
Freezing cold and the sirens blow and the mercury's down to 20 below. You don't need problems, you gotta go. That's why America goes with Prestone.
A fresh fill of Prestone 2 antifreeze fights freeze-up and rust-up, too. A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. Get the Prestone difference.
America goes and goes and goes with Prestone.
Trail boss on a cattle drive. You put in long days under the big sky, and when the work's over, you head for the mountains. Bush. Head for the beer that goes down smooth as a mountain stream. Brewed the natural way, so it's always as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountain. Head for...
For the average renter, the $5 Mercury Lynx has plenty of room. And it's only $29.95 a day. At budget. But budget has another car. One that's more my style. The Lincoln Town Car. Look at this headroom. And even us big shots like budget small price. Only $39.95 a day. Get the economy of luxury. Or the luxury of economy. Go to budget and say, the car. Or the car.
Today's game is brought to you by AT&T. In long-distance services, information systems, telephones, and computers, AT&T is the right choice. By Coors, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. And by RCA, creators of video technology that excites the senses.
12 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the ballgame. The Cowboys lead it by 14, 20-6. At the helm of the Steelers is David Woodley. Woodley replacing Mark Malone. He couldn't generate any offense, and Woodley has had an unbelievably slow start. He finally makes his first completion. This is to Abercrombie. So Woodley now has completed 1 out of 8, and he suffered an interception.
Right now, the Dallas Cowboys will prevent against the long pass. They'll give you some underneath. They were able to pick up some yardage on that play with an excellent block at the end of that run by Benny Cunningham.
Do you like a prevent-type defense?
I hate the prevent defenses, Charlie.
Yes, I'm glad I asked.
A lot of times I had the feeling they prevented us from winning. You know, you put that 3-man line in there, and Cowboys, you notice, still have the 4-man line. They rarely go to the 3-man.
Second down, about a half a yard. There's the first down. Pollard picks it up. And Pollard comes out of the stack with the whistle that sounded. It'll be a first down, though. Let's check the scoreboard. Denver leading Indianapolis 15-3. That's in the fourth quarter. Cincinnati by 15 in front of the Giants. Tampa Bay and the Rams. Look at that. Tampa Bay by 3.
Tampa Bay trying to knock off the undefeated Rams.
Leaving only Chicago. First down. That'll be ruled incomplete.
Interesting call. That's a tough call on the sideline. As Calvin Sweeney went up, Fellows took him out. Now the official who's standing on that sideline had to decide if Sweeney's feet would have come down inside had he not been bumped. His decision was that Sweeney was already going out of bounds and that the contact was incidental on that play. Brings up a 2nd and long.
Fourth quarter, Cleveland 21 and Houston 6. And that, of course, is important for Pittsburgh. Playing in the same division. Second down and 10. Woodley going deep. He's there. It's Sweeney to the 20, 10, 2-yard line. Ron Fellows saves the touchdown.
Several things to watch on this play. A 69-yard touchdown to Calvin Sweeney, but the Cowboys were hit with a quick count. I think they wanted to get a blitzing thing going here. Sweeney blitzes out of there on his own very quickly, and watch them as they hit the Cowboys with a quick count. There's no rush, consequently. Calvin Sweeney just running it up will blow right by the cornerback there. He gets deep, and the ball is perfectly thrown, and Woodley's first pass completion is a big one.
First down, goal to go 2-yard line. Quick correction, that is his second completion.
Well, his first in this game.
No, he had one to Abercrombie.
Ah, that's right.
Right down here.
Oh!
It was first down and goal to go from the 2. Pollard is met by Too Tall Joe.
Whew. That's right, Charlie. Threw that little swing out to Abercrombie, didn't he?
Yep.
But boy, not much success on that play. Too Tall just powering from the inside, and Pollard, who is a bull of a back, was just driven back. They lost yardage on that play. They marked it back just barely inside the 2-yard line.
Too Tall at 6'9", 287 pounds. The give is inside, and there's nothing there. Abercrombie may have a yard, but that is all. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go.
Knowles sending a play in with Ouija Thompson, number 87. He'll help in this kind of situation. He took the play in. He may indeed be the receiver as well. 2 times they tried the right side of that line. They're using leverage on that side. Short, stocky offensive lineman against Dutton and Jones, but they didn't get in there.
And Jones and Randy White pinched him down. 3rd down, goal to go. Abercrombie jumped. There was nobody there. He came down and then jumped into the end zone.
They're all looking for the pass, and Chuck Noll crossed him up. Made it look like he was willing to go to the passing game. He called a 3rd consecutive run, went back to the left side, and they were able to get it into the end zone. Very, very nice call. Some good philosophizing and play calling by Noll.
An 85-yard drive. The big play, the pass to Sweeney. The flag is down. 85-yard drive in 6 plays, a 69-yard pass from David Woodley to Calvin Sweeney. That's what set it up. And now we'll check out the flag.
Looks like it's going to be against Dallas and would be assessed.
Offsides, Dallas. Penalty will be administered on the kickoff. The point was good.
Yeah, we'll let the official tell us.
Of course. This way. So the score is now Dallas 20 and Pittsburgh 13 with a lot of time. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Steelers are back in it.
Who has expanded your TV picture by adding 4 new corners? It's RCA. Introducing RCA's picture window TVs. Sleek, slender screens with full corner-to-corner picture. They're all picture. All RCA ingenuity. And as pretty off as on. The new picture window TVs in new larger screen sizes from RCA. Technology that excites the senses.
You're about to learn why Ford Escort, the world's best-selling car, is out to become even more popular. If all of this seems like a lot to remember about Ford Escort, let us sum it up for you.
Get 8.8 financing on 4- and 5-speed manual transmission Ford Escorts now.
Here's you. Here's your competition. One of you will call AT&T small business experts. One of you won't. One of you will find out how to use long distance.
Distance to cover your customer base.
To beat your competition. So who's going to call? You or the other guy? AT&T long distance services. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
An American tradition continues when the Toronto Blue Jays face the Kansas City Royals, the League Championship Series on NBC.
Merlin, at the beginning of the telecast, you said that Walter Abercrombie had to have a good day rushing. It's been a pretty good day, 43 yards. The touchdown, his first of the game, only his second of the season.
Well, they have not had the kind of day they wanted to with their rushing game, though, Charlie.
But they're back in it. They're only 7 behind.
Well, no question about that. Let's go back and look at those that play from 2 different angles. The first you'll see is from the sideline. Watch the surge, offensive and defensive lines, and then Abercrombie up over the top, actually jumped twice. Let's turn around now, climb into that end zone, and watch it close up. Webster getting over there to help along with Wolfley. They rolled Randy White up on that play. Diossi coming from the linebacking position, got a piece of Abercrombie, but not until it was too late. They went right at the Cowboys' strength. They went right at Randy White and punched it into the end zone.
Dallas now from their own 20. Danny White 22 of 30, 239 yards, a touchdown and an interception. The touchdown was in the first half, and that was to Tony Dorsett. Renfro showing motion. They open up with play action, coming out firing. And it is there at the 41-yard line. Tony Hill, big play for the Cowboys, 21 yards. They're picking on Rick Woods. You said they'd go after him.
I knew they would. Anytime you put a guy into the ball game who has not played at a particular position or who has not played there in a long while, you're going to come right back and test him. That's exactly what they're doing here. Rick Woods in for the injured Dwayne Woodruff. He's getting some help on the play, but not there soon enough. They had to bump him out of bounds after a big first down. The Cowboys, I thought the Cowboys might resort to the running game, try and eat that clock.
I did
They're
too.
still up on top.
Hill, 4 receptions, 51 yards. Little swing to Dorsett, and he scrambles to the 43. So he picks up a couple. Second down and 8, and David Little upended him. Now let's go to Bill McAtee for an NFL 85 update.
Charlie, about 150 miles away from you, the Browns have come roaring back in the second half against Houston. Cleveland has scored again. Bernie Kosar has settled in. Here's the play that set up the latest touchdown. Kosar to Clarence Weathers. Weathers covers 57 yards to set up Ernest Biner's touchdown run. There's the score.
Thank you, Bill. And there's the score here. Dallas 20. Steelers 13. The Cowboys have the ball at their own 43, 2nd and 8, and White is back to throw. Has pressure. They were setting up a screen, a middle screen, and did Dorsett lose the ball? Something went wrong.
Watch Dorsett. We're in isolation on him on that last play. Now he'll just fake like he's coming up to block. He's play acting here, just waiting. You see the blockers in front of him? And that play, I think, just had too much heat on it. I don't think he was ready for it. But it's an easy pass to catch for a guy like Tony Dorsett. He's caught tougher balls today. That would have been a good gainer, I think, Charlie.
In the fourth quarter, Indianapolis closing a little on Denver, and New England leading Buffalo in the fourth period 14-3. 3rd down and 8. Big play for the Steeler defense. It will not be enough yardage.
Oh, my. Tom Landry will not be pleased with that. James Jones, the primary rule. You got to get down to where you can pick up that first down. And you see Landry, he's steamed. They've had to play. They had a connection. James Jones is hurt. He's on the ground.
He needed 8. He got only about 6. So it's going to be 4th down and a couple, and that means that the Cowboys will be kicking to the Steelers. We have a final score just in, and here it is. Washington 24 and Detroit 3.
Detroit with that big upset earlier of the Cowboys, not able to turn the Redskins around, as Joe Gibbs apparently has his Redskins back on track a bit. They have surely gotten themselves in the hole in the early going, Charlie.
So Washington is now 3-3 in the Eastern Division of the NFC.
Importantly, right here, the Steelers defense will give the offense another chance at the football. Noel giving last-minute instructions to Woodley, and this whole team had to be lifted by that big play and that touchdown. They now know they're one play away from tying this game up.
And Detroit's record also is 3-3, just to kind of finish up our housekeeping. And here's the kick. Ooh, good kick. Lips. He'll stay away from it.
Oh, they got a break there. They got a break
that was
there.
Ever so good. Victor Scott was down to try and down the ball inside the 5, but when it hit, it did a direct left turn. We'll be back in just a moment.
Have you driven a Ford?
Ford dealers present 8.8 Plus. 8.8 annual percentage rate financing on 86 and 85 Tempo and Escort, both when equipped with manual transmissions, plus tough new 86 Rangers and sporty 86 Bronco 2s. Plus, a special lease offer on all 86 and 85 Ford cars and light trucks. 1986 is off to a great start with 8.8 Plus at Ford dealers now.
I'm Rick Mason, Eyewitness News Bureau Chief for North Central Pennsylvania. If you watched Eyewitness News this week, we told you exclusively about the November 1st closing of PBI Industries and the loss of 100 steelworkers' jobs in Williamsport. Only Eyewitness News brought you the valiant efforts of rescue workers who tried to save the life of a Linden woman. You saw the Tri-County Project promote safely driving through the Love Belt campaign. And a talking fire hydrant brought the message of fire safety to the Susquehanna Valley. We're Eyewitness News and the Williamsport Bureau, working harder for you.
Have you heard the latest?
This week on Entertainment Tonight, take it from Tony Danza's boss lady, Judith Light.
There is another side to Tony Danza that a lot of people don't see.
Then catch up with Jennifer O'Neill on a new TV movie called Chase. And take a tour of Helltown with Robert Blake.
Those are my people. That's where I grew up.
Plus, John Cusack and Ray Don Chong.
It all starts when you get the scoop on 60 Minutes reporter Mike Wallace on Entertainment Tonight.
Monday at 7 on WBRE 28.
A place here, America.
First, the silver and black attack runs into the bruising defense of Cleveland as the Raiders battle the Browns. Then Seattle soars into a mile-high stampede when the Seahawks go eye-to-eye with the Broncos.
The NFL plays here on NBC. The action starts with NFL 85.
Woodley completing 2 of 10. The big one, the 69-yarder to Calvin Sweeney not too long ago that set up the touchdown. This one is off in the left flat, and it is complete to Abercrombie. And he has the first down at the 31-yard line, a gain of 11 on the play.
Good job of pass protection on that play.
Now, all of a sudden, as we'll take another look, Woodley looks like a different quarterback than he did the first couple of series.
I think he's settling in out there, but look how well he's protected on that play. Too Tall Jones finally breaking loose from the block by Tonchilkin, but he had all kinds of time to stretch those Dallas defenders deep and then throw under to Abercrombie.
He has Ouija Thompson and Calvin Sweeney as his wide receivers, possibly because this is who has been throwing to in practice as the backup quarterback. And they blitz, here they come.
Eugene Lockhart just missed that tackle, Charlie. He was blitzing on the inside. He got in there nicely and went right by Abercrombie. I think your point is a good one, Charlie. He may be throwing to those guys, but the other thing they're doing is rotating those receivers because of the heat.
Because of the heat. Randy White with that last tackle. Steelers, in the heat in Miami last week, everybody played with the exception of David Woodley. They rotated everybody, and the third quarterback held for field goal attempts and extra points.
And Woodley's already playing today, so they may get everybody in the game today.
It is in the 80s, and the humidity is there also. 2nd and 10. Woodley has time, goes deep. Cunningham looked like he was running in molasses. He was very slow once he got in the open.
Charlie, the one problem I'm sure he's going to have, being on the injured reserve and having been hurt, he's probably not yet in condition. And he does look slow in reacting here. He turned himself around, and I think he misjudged that ball a little as well. I think had he been able to keep going without spinning around, that ball would have been on target to him and well thrown. Again, Woodley had all kinds of time to throw the football. Yeah. That's a very good sign for Pittsburgh.
And now Stallworth is in, Lewis Lips is in, and Calvin Sweeney is in. They're the 3 wide receivers. 5 minutes, 47 seconds. That is the time remaining. Intercepted. Michael Downs with the interception.
For the second time today, David Woodley has thrown one to the guys in their wrong colored shirts. And I got to believe again, Charlie, that's the result of rust. Michael Downs, 26, left side of your screen, right, or Dennis Thurman, 32, and it's Michael Downs coming up from downfield to intercept that pass. Sweeney trying to get to that football. They hung it up for him, but they didn't get there in time as Michael Downs just stripped that ball away. That's another cornerback blitz, Charlie. Cowboys have killed him with that today.
10 yards on the interception return. 35-yard line of Dallas, first down, and here's Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett
all the way back.
Danny White is the blocker out in front. Hits for the corner. He's got it.
talked about Tony Dorsett being the key to this ball game for the Dallas Cowboys, and also the #1 priority for the Pittsburgh defense. He showed you right there as he turned a broken play and a possible loss into a touchdown.
And remember, we said earlier that Dorsett has never rushed for 100 yards or more against the Steeler defense. Extra point is good. That makes it 27-13. Well, Dorsett still hasn't, but he's getting closer. He's within 3. He's got 97 yards.
97 yards. Let's look at that run. Dorsett out to his right. He's going to be trapped there. Excellent pursuit by the Pittsburgh defense. They were out there waiting for him. Now this is the mark of the extraordinary back. He'll go all the way back against the grain, and watch him set up a non-block, a near block right there by Denny White. Denny White didn't have to block Clayton on that play because Dorsett put Clayton in a position where he couldn't do anything. That's the kind of talent that Dorsett has as a running back, and you can do that if you have 4.3 speed, Charlie.
Or as he says, just fast enough so they can't catch me. And since NBC will be in Seoul, Korea for the 1988 Olympic Games, it seems only fitting that we put a clock on him. It took 11 seconds, 11 flat to cover that 35 yards.
Well, he's down in the sunshine, too. It's a hot one.
That's right.
Well, Noel trying to reassure David Woodley now. Tell him to forget about that interception. Put it out of his mind. The only plays you can do something with are the plays coming up, not the ones behind you.
And Septien kicking off.
Again, a perfect kick.
Just bounces in the end zone, goes out of the side edge of the end zone. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line of the touchback.
Noel will send Woodley in with a play, perhaps a couple of plays. Tell him how he wants to start the series. And I've got to believe we'll be putting plays in as he substitutes receivers and different people into the game. But Woodley will still be making a lot of calls on his own.
5 minutes and 22 seconds. That is the time remaining here. This is Charlie Jones, Merlin Olsen. 5:22 left to go. It's Dallas 27, Pittsburgh 13. As Tony Dorsett just scored from 35 yards out. He has scored twice, once receiving, once rushing, and in the ball game has reached the milestone, more than 10,000 yards rushing, joining 5 other NFL greats. And now the Steelers go to work from their own 20. Woodley's pass to Stallworth is not there. He had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They'll bring it back to the 20-yard line. Everson Walls was there for the Cowboys. There's a final. Cleveland 21 and Houston 6. Tom Landry in the shade along the far sideline. The Dallas Cowboys, their record, if they hold this lead, will go to 5-1, and the Steelers, their record will go to 2-4. And Pittsburgh will have lost 3 in a row. But still 5:16 left to go. They need another big play. Incomplete. Lips, the intended receiver. Lips does not have a reception of the ballgame. First time in his career, now his career is last year and this year, that he has not had a reception. He was #1 draft choice a year ago.
Steelers have been able to dodge that 3 in a row scheme. They haven't lost 3 in a row since 1983. Well, it's not too far back. They didn't want to do it here. They wanted to climb back, get a piece of that lead in their division if they could. And Cleveland winning. They knew that they were going to play head-to-head with Cleveland in a few weeks. They could maybe even that score, but, well, things not looking good here for the Steelers.
Woodley with pressure. He gets it off. It is incomplete.
#1 draft pick for these Dallas Cowboys. Number 99, Kevin Brooks, in on that play. They like him as a pass rusher. He's getting some time in there as Landry begins to put a few of his reserves into the game. Lips.
He was coming across. He lost his footing. He slipped a little, but the big problem that the Steelers had, and that was Kevin Brooks. He was right in the face of Woodley. And that means that Harry Newsome will be kicking, and Leon Gonzalez will be returning. This is the 8th punt of the ball game for Newsome. Oh, another good one. He has really been punting well. Fair catch is called for at the 30-yard line. Hang time is 4.8 seconds on the kick. That punt covered some 50 yards. We'll take a timeout. Cowboys lead it 27-13. And we're coming right back. This is Charlie Jones, Merlin Olsen. I'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching other ball games. The score here now, Dallas 27 and Pittsburgh 13 with exactly 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And the Cowboys have the ball on their own 31-yard line. First down. Tony Dorsett is 97 yards rushing, 82 yards receiving. So that's a total offense for Dorsett of 179 yards. They'll mark that to the 34-yard line, and if that stands up as a 3-yard gain, that means that Dorsett has exactly 100 yards rushing. And just to restate a statement of a moment ago, this would be the first time he's ever had a 100-yard game rushing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is right there. It's the 43rd of his career.
Good news for the Cowboys, and of course their record for 100-yard games by this man, rather awesome here in the Coliseum, or in the Texas Stadium. I played in the Coliseum. This is Texas Stadium, Charlie.
Danny White throwing this one away. Jones, the closest receiver. When Dorsett has had 100 yards or more in this stadium, perfect record for the Cowboys. They have won 26 and they have lost 0. And we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WBRE 28, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
Overall, Dallas's record, just to add one more number to the list, is 40-2. 40 victories and 2 defeats when Dorsett has been over 100 yards.
There's always some cause and effect. When you can run the ball effectively, and when you are running the football, it usually means you're in control of the game.
Delayed blitz. The pass is incomplete. Intended receiver was Carl Poe. Poe, the rookie from Alabama State, where he was a track star, taken in the 7th round of the draft. And that means it'll be 4th down and 7. So Mike Saxon will come in to kick. And Rick Woods will be returning.
Right now, Chuck Noll would like to have some of the firepower that these Steelers had for so long. The explosive combination of Terry Bradshaw to Stallworth and Swan. He's still got Stallworth, but hasn't been able to get the clicking by the quarterbacks today, although David Woodley had that one long throw to Calvin Sweeney.
And Mike Saxon will be kicking. Another good kick.
Yeah.
Good kick. Taken at the 16-yard line. A flag is down on the play. Hang time on that kick was 5 seconds even. Boy, the punting has been outstanding. A 51-yard kick, maybe a 3-yard return if it stands up. Salonen and Eastman were down very quickly for the Cowboys.
Well, no chance for Woods. He's looking up into that sun. Oh, and that's somehow the bad news comes in droves, Charlie.
It does.
A holding call against the Steelers to put them even further back toward their own goal line. And the last thing Chuck Noll needs now is to be told that his team is going to have to move almost, well, 91 yards to get into the end zone. Well, there he marks. 90.5 yards, Charlie.
Testing.
3 minutes and 56 seconds is the time remaining in the ball game. It's Dallas 27 and Pittsburgh 13. And don't forget, later today, the Battle of the Pennants continues on NBC. Game 5, Toronto Blue Jays against the Kansas City Royals. And then this evening, the Dodgers and the Cardinals, all here on NBC Sports.
See Mike Webster pointing at the line there. Looks like a blitz now. Let's see if they go through with it. Nope, dropping out of there.
Woodley. Sweeney is deep, got behind the man who was covering him, but he got behind him after the pass had been released. Michael Downs was there.
Charlie, Ernie Stotner has put together a pressure defense. They took the flex defense and they've begun to remodel it. They don't run nearly as much of the pure flex anymore. They show you some varieties off of it. They've gone to a higher mix of dogs and blitzes. They really can put the pressure on you. And then on a play like that, they come up, they look like they're in a pressure defense, a blitzing defense, and suddenly drop out of it into a regular defense. We call that window dressing, and the Cowboys are very good at it.
2nd and 10 from the 10. trailing by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. And here's Pollard on the draw. 17-yard line. He's got 7, so it'll be 3rd down and 3. Let's check the NFL scoreboard. This is a final. Cleveland 21, Houston 6. New England over Buffalo 14-3. Washington, they win it 24-3 over Detroit. Back to our live action. The pass is complete to Louis Lips, and Lips has his first reception of the day and a 1st down, a gain of 10 yards on the play.
What a great catch. Had to turn almost all the way around to catch that football. Gives him a 1st down. 3 minutes 11 seconds. Woodley needs another one quickly here.
And remember, the Steelers have only 2 timeouts remaining as he goes to Calvin Sweeney, 35-yard line.
Charlie, do they have 2 timeouts or 1 timeout?
Excuse me. They've used 2. They have 1 timeout remaining. Oh, he's looking at overtime in that one. And Philadelphia leading St. Louis. 1 timeout remaining. I'm glad you corrected me on that, because all of a sudden, if they can put something together here, an onside kick, and well, those 2, one was by the offense and one was by the defense, and those were both mistakes.
They really were, Charlie, and they probably avoided mistakes on the field, but it's costly when you come down to the last seconds of a game. You got a chance to get something going, and you don't have an ability to stop the clock.
2nd down and 1. Pretty good protection. Here's Lips. He's got it inside the 20-yard line, 18-yard line. Louis Lips all of a sudden comes to life with a battle with Ron Fellows.
Everson Walls had gone over to the other side of the field to solo up on Stallworth, but watch Lips go back behind again, takes it over the shoulder. Fellows turning all the way around, 46 yards on the reception, and very quickly the Steelers are down in position where they might be able to get it into the end zone. Looking at it from the end zone, you'll see how well they were able to work on Ron Fellows here. They twist him all the way around, and Lips adjusted to the ball and went out of bounds.
And give credit to that offensive line of the Steelers. They're giving Woodley all kinds of time. 1st down at the Dallas 18-yard line.
Here comes the blitz again, Charlie. The all-out blitz, and they picked it up.
Sweeney knocked away. Good defensive play.
There's the call. There's a flag, Charlie. Interference.
Victor Scott, he hit him too soon. No wonder it looked good.
The one thing about a blitzing defense, if you can pick that defense up, you know you've got one-on-one man-to-man coverage. Victor Scott trying to cover from the outside and simply couldn't do it without grabbing onto the receiver.
The signal from the referee, Tom Dooley. Pass interference.
Pass interference, 22, defense, 1st down.
And as we said, it was on number 22, Victor Scott. He just
Here's
hit
the
it from
play.
behind.
Calvin Sweeney. He saw the blitz developing. He went inside, and Scott just used that hand from behind to push him.
Got him with the left hand. 1st down, goal to go 9. Here's pressure. Fired, incomplete. Lips the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go back at the 9-yard line.
Boy,
and the Steeler offenses look better with Woodley. Once he got over the jitters, he's looked good, hasn't he?
Woodley just got leveled too, Charlie. Jeffcoat got him from the blind side and just ran over him. He put a lot of steam on that ball. Really almost threw it through defender and receiver. No concern, I'm sure, not just about this game. I know his concern goes to the length of this ball game.
And don't forget the concern over the clock. 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in the ball game. 2nd down, goal to go, 9-yard line. Pump fake. And he missed it. Lips was alone, had a little breathing room at the 5. He could have caught it if he'd have been on target. I'm not sure if he could have gone in, Merlin, but he could have made the reception with a good pass.
A long arm fake from David Woodley, the quarterback. Right here, watch him. He'll just give you the fake, and Lips will stop and come back, but Woodley put it a little too far outside and a little too high. Good pattern, good execution, except for the location of that pass.
And we're in 4-down territory. They will disdain a field goal attempt here.
Well, they certainly are. They might possibly go here to get themselves down close to that goal line, Charlie, rather than try and punch twice for the goal line.
3rd down, goal to go.
There's the last timeout.
Woo!
There's the last timeout.
I can understand this one more than the other two, because you can afford mistakes maybe early in the ballgame. Here you can't afford a mistake. So I think this is a good call. I like this call.
Well, you don't want to blow the opportunity down here. But Charlie, the only way to win this game is to score this touchdown and come back and get a chance at another one. The important thing, though, if you don't score this one, you have no chance. Noel talking to Woodley here. Woodley explaining his reasons for calling the timeout, and I'm sure Noel is not happy. He probably won't say anything about it here. He'll talk to him later about that. And you see them now discussing what they're going to call, the strategy here.
You've been in those huddles on the sideline, listening in to see what they're talking. What are they talking about? How much of a discussion is it? Is it a like, what do you like type of thing?
Sometimes. I think, though, that Tom Moore will have some input. He'll be calling down from upstairs. Yeah. He's the offensive coordinator. Woodley coming out may have a suggestion for a play. You see Noel putting on the headphones here. He'll be talking to Tom Moore from upstairs, and very often it's a meeting of the minds. But usually in a crucial situation like this, unless an offensive coordinator has a strong feeling, this man right here, Chuck Noel, will make that call.
Will he make the call, or with his philosophy, with his quarterbacks calling so much of the plays,
he'll
call this one?
He'll call a play, I think. Noel and Tom Moore call about 25% of the plays anyway. Yeah. And I think in this situation they will call a play, in particular for Woodley.
Now let's check the scoreboard. First quarter, the Bears out in front. 7-0 Chicago.
Well, Mike Ditka here for many years as an assistant to Landry, certainly getting things going in Chicago.
And another final, Green Bay defeating Minnesota 20-17. Bud Grant's doing it with mirrors with Minnesota, though. He does not have that kind of talent, and he really does a good job.
Let's see what Woodley and these Steelers can do.
It's third down, so they've got 2 opportunities. Third down goal to go. Pollard to the 3.
Smart call.
You like it?
I like the call.
Tell me.
The blitz was coming. Now, what you can do against that blitz, if you can pop the line of scrimmage with a running call, there's nobody back there to pick it up. Well, they're just huddling right back on the line of scrimmage.
They called 2 plays during the timeout. Here's there. Did not get it there in time. Dennis Thurman.
Victor Scott, who got that call a moment ago for interference, was in the right position on that play. David Woodley trying to lob it over the head of Scott, get it into the end zone to Ehrenberg. Scott simply picked it off. And then almost, he was angry. Watch the play. Ehrenberg is going to come back and dump Scott on his head. Or Thurman, not Scott, Dennis Thurman. Now watch Thurman stand up. Can we see the end of that? He wanted to hit him with the football. I mean, he was going to throw that football right back in his face. Here it is. Watch him as he dumps him. Now watch Thurman stand up. Watch this. He decided, boy, I'll tell you, that'd be a penalty too. He's lucky he didn't do it.
And here's Dorsett from the 20 to the 26. Now Dennis Thurman, that is his 5th interception of the season. And that is an interception in each of the last 4 ball games, including this one. His 36th career interception, and could save the ball game. We've got the 2-minute warning to both pitches. We'll take a timeout. Cowboys lead it 27-13.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1984. And Giant fans are on their feet and screaming. Down by 13 against Kansas City, Phil Simms comes of age with a perfect lob to wide receiver Bobby Johnson. Touchdown, the Giants are within 6. Do you believe in miracles? Well, here's Simms again to the phenomenal Zeke Moad, his tight end from Florida State. No time left. Giants win by 1.
Glad we could get together. Oh, but we better hurry. Can't miss the concert.
Right.
Oh, no. We save our aluminum cans for the animal shelter.
Oh.
They raise money by recycling them.
What a nice idea. Say, what kind of dog is that?
Oh, purebred. Aluminum retriever.
Aluminum retriever. Arf, arf, Harry.
Recycle. Buy beverages in aluminum cans. And recycle.
This is Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen. In the past, when you think of the Steelers, They win these kind of ball games. They come from behind in the last moment. They make the interception in the end zone. Today it's with the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I'll tell you something about the Steelers. They're a very young team. Chuck Noll has turned over a lot of personnel. And I think they'll get back to that, Charlie. If you look back at last year's Cowboy team, they were losing some big games in the fourth quarter. The last couple of weeks, the Steelers have had chances in the fourth quarter to win or to get themselves back in the game. They haven't been able to do it, and that's been the difference for them. That's something they're going to have to really work on, and I think it'll come in part with more maturity and experience from these players.
We have 2 minutes to go in the ball game. David Woodley, Mark Malone, who started the ball game, did not have a good ball game.
And you have to wonder what will happen next week. I would guess that Malone will be back in the starting lineup next week, Charlie. That's just a guess on my part.
It's interesting because I would have guessed the other way. So between the two of us, we're going to be right.
Well, Charlie, I don't think our guess is going to matter much because Chuck Noll is going to call that shot.
Here's Tony Dorsett. No, and he never has called me during the week to ask my opinion on that. Final score, Tampa Bay defeating the Rams. No, excuse me, the Rams
came back.
Came back because Tampa Bay was leading all the way.
Rams came back in that ball game. You see this Jim Schaffner, the quarterback coach, making the signal from the sideline. There'll be two men making those signals, and Landry allows Dorsett to come off and take his recognition from the crowd. I like that. I like that.
I do too. I do too. Here's John Williams. And the clock will be just allowed to continue on its inexorable march. 1:07 and counting. The Steelers cannot call a timeout. They're out of timeouts.
No timeouts. White just has to control the football. The second down. Just watches it count down 58-57. And in some ways, a very satisfying day for Danny White. Danny has had some problems this year and had a few minor problems today. But mostly, he's done it all right today. Been hot with his passing game. Gotten good performance out of his running game. And of course, they've got the big score on the board.
And he's counting down the 30-second clock. He takes the snap with 2 seconds to go on the 30-second clock. And now we have 30 seconds to go on the game clock. And so that's it. He doesn't have to take another snap.
That should wrap it up. Chuck Noll has his headset off. He's seen his Steelers lose their third game in a row. They go to a 2-4 record. That is not the kind of Steeler football that those fans up there are used to seeing.
And you've seen the Dallas Cowboys win their fourth in a row, and their record now is 5-1.
Tony Dorsett. That will be interesting. We'll have a chance, I think, to talk to Tony Dorsett, get his feelings on the day.
So the milestone today, Tony Dorsett reaching the 10,000-yard rushing mark. The Dallas Cowboys, their mark is 5-1. The final again, Cowboys 27, Steelers 13. We'll be back in a moment to continue the review of the action of today's game.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays the Audi all-wheel drive 4000 CS Quattro from the swift completion of its appointed rounds. Audi, the art of engineering.
When we built the first Space Hyatt, we kept all the familiar touches Hyatt is known for on Earth, including the one touch no one else can ever match, the warmth and graciousness of our Hyatt people.
Good evening, Mr. Euchre.
Hey, they even know me up here.
You're in room 200.
200, my lifetime Banningham rooms. All right.
It's what makes Hyatt the greatest space on Earth. Wish you were here.
To race fans everywhere, Old Milwaukee means something great. It means the Old Milwaukee race team, racing at its best. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer. Cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light. An Old Milwaukee Light. Tastes as great as their name. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this.
The final once again, Dallas 27 and Pittsburgh 13. The two big plays, Tony Dorsett with a touchdown reception that opened the scoring for the Dallas Cowboys, and then The interception return, there's Tony, and we'll be talking to Tony. Hang on there, Tony. We'll be talking to just a minute. Big smile. And Junior Lockhart, Gene or Eugene, he's standing next to him. We'll be talking to him. He, of course, did the interception and went in for the score. That final, once again, 27-13. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. You're not just flying. You're flying the friendly skies.
Monday Bloopers rise again with practical jokes on Yankee slugger Dave Winfield and Ned Beatty. Chuck Woolery hosts the Golden Blooper Award plus goofy commercials Monday.
Broke all the rules. Got nothing to lose. Dempsey and Makepeace.
Sunday at 11:30 on WBRE 28.
Tom Hesser Chevrolet BMW has got Chevy trucks to burn. It's our gold medal Chevy Truck Blitz. With clearance prices on all new S10 pickups, S10 4x4s and Blazers, plus full-size pickups at 8.8% financing. If it's a truck, it's yours for less during the gold medal Chevy Truck Blitz. On now. Go for the gold at your gold medal Chevy dealer, Tom Hesser Chevrolet BMW.
We've turned on a brand new FM radio station, Magic 93.
You can do magic. You can have anything.
Magic 93, playing the classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and the 80s.
Magic 93 plays the favorites of today and yesterday.
Magic. The classic hits on Magic 93 FM.
28, let's all be there.
Tony Dorsett rushes for over 100 yards. A familiar story. The Cowboys win. They are 41-2 in games where number 33 has gained over the century mark. The Cowboys are 5-1. This is the Budweiser NFL Report brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Cowboys beat the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 27-13. Tony Dorsett is standing by now at Texas Stadium with Charlie Jones. Let's take you there.
Thank you very much, and congratulations first to Tony Dorsett for reaching that milestone. Can you hear us down there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't hear it.
Tell Lockhart to be quiet. We'll talk to you.
I'll just talk to you later.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tony, you really had an outstanding day, but the first big play was not a run. It was a pass reception. Tell us about it.
Secret weapon, Merlin. As a matter of fact, you know, it's ironic you bring that play up, and ironic it worked the way it did, because before the game, Coach Landry came up to me and Danny and said, "Oh, Coach, normally I'm supposed to go down the middle and hook there." Coach said, instead of hooking, just run straight down the middle. If the linebackers come up, there's a good chance that I'll be open for a big play, and fortunately for us, it worked just the way he said it.
Well, now tell us about the play that you scored on where everything was shut off to the right and you went all the way back the other way. In fact, I think we have footage of that.
Well, you know, that's one of those Pat and Dorset moves. They were trying to cut me off from the outside all day long and doing a real good job of it, especially the first half. I was going to the right. I stopped. I seen a lot of pursuit out there. I cut back against the grain. I picked up a couple blocks. Danny White even was out there throwing a block for me. And after that point, it was just off to the races. And there's not many people going to catch me after that point.
Okay, we'll be back to talk with Gene Lockhart in just a minute. And now let's go back to Bill McAtee.
All right, Charlie, thank you very much. We want to remind you that still to come, Game 5 of the American League Championship Series, Toronto and Kansas City. We'll be back with scores and highlights.
This buzz for everyone in the spotlight before the show begins.
This buzz for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. Showtime,
Hey, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
Hey, man, nice job.
This buzz for you.
Like a lot of people, I'm taking better care of my body. Better care of my skin, too. With Skin Bracer Aftershave. Shaving is rough, so I use Skin Bracer. It cools and smooths skin. Tightens pores. That's the tingle. Smells great, too. But Skin Bracer is not cologne. It's skin care that feels good. That's why more men are saying, thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer, also in spice, takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By men.
Okay, we're set now to take a look at some of the scores, some finals just in. Denver has beaten Indianapolis by a score of 15-10. The Broncos go to 4-2. Dan Reeves had watched his offense become pretty potent, although they didn't have to do a whole lot today to win. Here was a touchdown in the first half. Roan Stark will punt the ball. Vance Johnson, the speedster out of Arizona, will return the ball 38 yards. He finds the ball on the right side, goes down to the Indianapolis 46-yard line. Then John Elway goes to work. Mr. Elway hooks up 45 yards to Clint Sampson, number 84. That set up a 2-yard touchdown run by Sammy Winder. The reason for the odd score, an extra point was missed. 15-10 Denver. Broncos are 4-2. The Colts at 2-4. A final just in. Cincinnati has beaten the Giants. An upset there. The final 35-30. The Giants go to 3-3. Cincinnati. The reason I'm laughing, Axe picked this. The Bengals go to a record of 2-4. And also a great game down in Tampa. Tampa Bay losing to the Rams by a score of 31-27. The Rams won it on Leroy Irvin's return for a touchdown late in the game. So the Rams are still undefeated at 6-0, and the Bucs are still winless at 0-6. We'll be back to give you a few more finals right after these messages.
A good idea by itself may go nowhere. It needs other good ideas. Technology from a company called TRW makes the most of ideas by helping them work together. And working together is the best idea in the world. Tomorrow is taking shape at a company called TRW.
This Bud's for everyone who scrapes it, sprays it, and lays it on smooth. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. For all you do. This Bud's for you.
All righty, let's finish running down the scores from Week 6 around the National Football League. Bernie Kosar had a strong second half. Cleveland wins over Houston, 21-6. The Bag people have returned to the Astrodome. It's tough to be an Oiler fan. Kosar came roaring back after a slow first half. 21 points for Cleveland in the second half. Here Kosar hooks up with Clarence Weathers, his first touchdown pass as a pro, 7-6 Cleveland. And the Browns kept coming. Kevin Mack, a 4-yard touchdown run for Cleveland. This was also in the third quarter. And on 3rd and 2 from the Houston 5 in the fourth quarter, the touchdown that iced it. Ernest Biner, a nice move inside there, 21-6. Cleveland wins over Houston. All right, New England over Buffalo, 14-3. Detroit and Washington, the Lions haven't won in Washington since 1937. The Redskins roll 24-3. John Reagan's had 3 touchdowns today for Washington. Minnesota and Green Bay, this went all the way down to the wire. Al Del Greco had a 23-yard field goal with 7 seconds left in the game. Green Bay wins over Minnesota 20-17. And an upset. Philadelphia has beaten St. Louis, destroyed the Cardinals. 30-7 the final in that game. Ron Jaworski back at starting quarterback. He threw 3 touchdown passes today. And before we leave, we want to mention that you had a great day. Congratulations.
Well, I want to mention that when we watched Tony Dorsett being interviewed, there were a lot of attractive women waving banners and
no cheap shots.
I haven't seen anything quite that impressive since I walked the floor of Texas Stadium with Bill McAtee.
I don't want to be the guy to tell Eugene Lockhart that he didn't get on this show. Any surprises today?
Bernie Kosar did a lot today. I mean, even when you come on a team as the #1 draft choice, your teammates are a little skeptical until they see you play and how well you do under fire. He did very well under fire, and I think he's on the way.
You don't think that Houston was able to unsettle him, I guess?
No, Houston, they still got a lot of, I mean, they try to hit and they keep going. They just can't win a game.
Well, listen, thank you very much. I enjoyed filling in for Mr. Costas. Bob is in Kansas City. You will see Game 5 of the American League Championship Series coming up in just a few moments. For all of us here at NFL 85, thanks for being with us. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody.
Monday Sunday, bloopers rise again with practical jokes on Yankee slugger Dave Winfield and Ned Beatty. Chuck Woolery hosts the Golden Blooper Award, plus goofy commercials Monday.
Coming up, you'll get the scoop on 60 Minutes reporter Mike Wallace and go behind the scenes on the movie Wild Horses on Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7 on WBRE 28.
America, we made it. I'm so happy. Look, the Statue of Liberty. Isn't she beautiful? I don't feel so good. You look all right to me. Where does it hurt? All over. I need lots of fixing. That's going to be expensive. Where are we going to get the money? You blockhead. I'm the Statue of Liberty. If we ask people to help, they will. Everyone loves me. She's right. To fix what ails the Statue of Liberty, we need lots of money. So, if you out there want to help, send your contributions to the lady. Box 1986, New York, or call 1-800-THE-LADY. It would make me feel a lot better. Say it, gang. Keep the torch lit! Oh, I love her.
28 Eyewitness News, working harder for you.